So yeah. Again, join the YouTube. Link is in the bio if you want to see a little bit clearer instead of this little bootleg setup. Yeah, this is just a tutorial on just an overview on the essential graphics panel. Pretty much what it allows you to do is to template your project files. This instance, I'm going to just show how you can adjust the type layer. So I'll just go play this over a bit. And so what this allows you to do is to go in and change like the player and position and the number, as well as the team. And that way you can just jump into the file and it's pretty much plug and play. So that's pretty much how I use my template files now, and how how I make things a little bit more easy for myself. So again, we're gonna go ahead and just look through the file what I have right here. So this here is the essential graphics panel in After Effects. If you don't see this panel, you can go to your window and then drop down to I can't even see it. Where are we at? Oh, essential graphics, and boom. All right. And so it'll bring up this panel here if you have anything assigned to it. And so a way you can assign things is if, let's say you just have a layer, and we'll just use this for instance. So I'm just gonna shy all these down. And you guys can see that. So if I just go to a new type layer, new text layer, I'll just type in just player for the moment. All right, and so let me just make that bigger for you guys can see. You can just always just come in and change the type if you need to. But again, I'm trying to template this, so whoever is trying to use this or whoever needs to update this this template can just go in here and adjust it. So we made a new text layer, and I want to be able to adjust that on the fly with the essential panel. So if you go to your drop down menu right here, flyout menu, you go down to text, and if you see there's a section here that says source text. Again, if you can't see this, go onto the YouTube link. It's on my bio and you can see it a little bit better. But here we have the source text. You can right click on that and go to add property to essential graphics, and you'll see it pop up here, right? All right, so yeah, so you can right click on that and go to add property to essential graphics, and that's what I just did. And so this will pop up, and this is pretty much just this allows you to pretty much template it. So if I change this up here to, let's say, just click out, you'll see it change over here. And this is just your indicator on the left side. So if I just want to make this say if I just want this to say coach name, all right, and this will be Phillips, and just click out, and it'll say Phillips. And so why this is important or why this is helpful is, so like for that, somebody doesn't know how to use After Effects, they can just come into this panel and change it instead of going into, pre-comps, just dropping down into pre-comp. So I just unhid all those. Let's say you had something that's really deep in here, and somebody might get just a little overwhelmed. If you have this panel over here to update and adjust, that does wonders. So even if I close this panel out, I can make my changes. And let's actually bring the timeline back. Let's see. So even if I had that closed out, I can make my change here. And just click out, and it'll change. And so that's pretty much what I did for the players here. So I just made 5 different layers I'm sorry, 10 different layers. And you can kind of see those here. So I guess 7. Position and then name. So I'll just get rid of that one. I don't need it anymore, so I'll just delete it, and it'll just give me a notification say if I delete this, it's gonna delete it out of the panel. And so yeah, so I'll just go through this panel and just show you just how easy it is. So I just have it coded, so I know exactly what it is. So position 1 and position 1 name. So that just refers to this one and this one, and then to position 2 name just refers to this one as well as this one. So if I change this to, let's say we have a wide receiver, and let's say his number is 17, and change it out like that. And so you guys can kind of see just how quick that is. I don't have to jump into the layer into a pre-comp and change it that way. Again, so what was it? So if I go into so another instance where I used it was to adjust the vertical bar here. So that is this layer right here, and I have a transform effect on it. So over here I have a transform effect, and I have this scale added to the essentials panel. So if you right click on that, you can go to add properties, essential graphics panel, and that's what I did here, and I just named that. And so that allows me to, you know, if I had more players, so this one is left blank. So position, let's say we have a lineman. Say we have a lineman, and so you can see my line isn't quite perfect. And let me just add in a number. So say 11. So now I'll have to adjust the actual vertical position for that instead of dropping down here, changing that. So, and I can also adjust the height. So when it does play through, everything is lined up, and so you kind of see it's a little bit off. So I'll just adjust it that way a little bit more, and then also have an adjustment for a block. So if these names, if it becomes off center, I can adjust that as well. And then for, I have an adjustment for drop-down menu. So I added that to this essential panel. So if I change this to Lions, it'll change to Lions. If I change this to Raiders, it'll change it to Raiders. And that is rigged up a little. It's a little complex, but I guess I can show you guys that because it allows you to add this to the panel, so you can also adjust it so that anybody can come in here and just select what they need, add the players, and then just export that out into the media encoding queue and call it a day. So I'll just go over that really quick. So pretty much what it is a drop-down menu, and so the way I work is I usually use null objects. So right click, go to new, null object, and then I'll just set that layer, which is what this is. I'll set that layer to a guide layer, and it's just easy for me to differentiate that between other layers that I don't need. And so what I did is I added a drop-down menu. So a drop-down menu control, added that there. And so this is what this is. And that allows you to, input items as you need. So if I can add another one here, say Dolphins, type right. And so if I hit OK, you can see down here my list, it says Dolphins. But if I select it, there's nothing there. So the way that works is you pretty much just have to set it to what you need. So what I did was, first let me go back here, and I'm going to lock this panel so that it doesn't disappear. Open this back up. So in here I have all my logos. And then I set them in order of how I set my list in order. So if I set Bucks, my bucks is the last layer down here, right? So in order for this to work is I just sequence the layers. So if I have all my layers here, I just select the first. Select the first one, go to frame assist, and go to sequence layers, and just hit OK. It'll sort your layers from endpoint to outpoint. And then from there is what I did was go to time, enable time remap, and that will allow each layer to be that'll allow for each layer to turn on and off depending on what second you're at. And so if you kind of look, these start at every second interval. So once you do that, you have to alt click or option click if you're on Mac, option click on the stopwatch, and you'll need to know a little bit more scripting. But pretty much what happens is, let me just comment this out. So you'll just pick whip your menu and do -1 and stop it. And so the reason why we do -1 is this drop down menu is an indexed menu, so it'll start at 0 and then count up from there. So 0, 1, 2, 3. So your first item will actually be 0 and your second item will be 1. So we offset that by 1 so that if you select the first item, it'll be the first item. So it's a little complicated, but once you know how it works, it's not too crazy. And so how, I added it to the essentials panel the same way. So opponent, this menu, right click and go to add property to essential graphics, and it popped up there, and I just renamed it to opponents to make sure I knew what it is. And so another quick tip here is you can kind of group all of these. So if I come down and I go to add group, I can title this player info or whatever you want to call it, and I can drop these items. I can drop all these items inside. You guys get the picture. And then I can close that out, so that'll give me a little bit more space. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it on this quick tip. I'll go a little bit more in depth on the, how to use a drop-down menu, because it is a little bit intense. But again, once you know how it works, this thing will be a lifesaver. And again, like, you have to do something over and over every single week. It's best to make a template that you can just breeze through, just go in, plug in what you need, and then export it. There are other ways to do, to ingest type layers, but for this cause, this is as simple as it gets, the easiest it gets for me. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Shoot me in DMs or anything like that. I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But yeah, that pretty much concludes this tutorial. I guess I'll catch you next time.